It's one thing to completely dominate and like a 40-20, 40-15 shot differential against Vancouver. It's not going to happen against Dallas. And then the fact that you're still doing that and losing games, I can't see Edmonton beating Dallas.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
We did have a Game 7 in the NHL. Oilers hung on, 3-2 victory. Vancouver had a 4-minute penalty to score at the very end of the first period, and they never really had a great opportunity at all.
That was a great kill by Edmonton.
It was awesome.
They did a phenomenal job, and they're number one in the playoffs in penalty kill. And
that's all 12 now. All 12 teams who advanced to this point, they've won special teams.
Yep. So looking at regular season, Rangers were third on the power play. Edmonton was fourth. Dallas was sixth. Florida was eighth. In the playoffs, Edmonton number one. I mean, they started 50%. And then they had the 0-9 stretch over the two games on the power play against Vancouver. But Edmonton 1, Rangers 3, Dallas 4, Florida was 8th. And a penalty kill in the regular season, Rangers were 3rd, Florida 6, Dallas 8, Edmonton middle of the pack. But in the playoffs, Edmonton number 1 on the kill, Rangers 2, Florida 3, Dallas 11.
Oh, if that continues, then
right.
Edmonton wins the series, yeah?
Well, based on that, right. But I just think there's so much pressure on Edmonton. And they did an excellent job in the last two games taking it to Vancouver. But then again, you're talking about a third-string goalie and your best players out in Game 7 with Besser. And total domination with the shots. But you know the window's closing on McDavid here with his time in the... Like, how many chances are you going to get her to win a cup in Edmonton? And maybe you make a big change in net next year. And you're also playing for all of Canada. The drought, 1993. The last time a team from Canada won the cup. So I cannot believe the price. Dallas is $1.20, $1.25. You have the best team in the West with home ice, and it's Ottinger against Skinner. It's one thing to completely dominate and like a 40-20, 40-15 shot differential against Vancouver. It's not going to happen against Dallas. And then the fact that you're still doing that and losing games, I can't see Edmonton beating Dallas. I'm shocked at the price.
What is the weakest link for Dallas? I think some people would point to Ottinger and still say that...
okay then, so what?
That's exactly my point.
He's a lot better than Skinner.
That's exactly my point.
They're also balanced. They have 8 guys who scored 20 goals. So I love how they took apart Colorado and held them in check after what Colorado did to Winnipeg from an offensive standpoint. So... I just think, and also the tough turnaround for Edmonton. The Draisaitl angle's awesome. He's been phenomenal. He's had a point in every playoff game.
I will say this.
2 points in the 9 games you were on that for much of the playoffs. But I'm shocked at the price. And even like Lazarus tweeted out, I mean, the team with the longest odds right now are the Rangers.
That's wild.
They have home ice. They're the best team, President's Trophy winning team, home ice. They just beat Carolina in 6, longest shot on the board.
Is the tough turnaround exist here for Edmonton? They get an extra day here of rest. So they go from a Monday night Game 7 to a Thursday night Game 1. And oh, by the way, the Stars have dropped Game 1 in each of the series so far, both those at home.
I think it's tough off the 7 games, and Dallas is better anyways. And you just don't know what you're going to get out of Skinner. I mean, they totally dominated the first 2 periods, and then they got to sweat out the last 5 minutes.
I know. The game, I'm glad they talked about this on the broadcast last night. Game could have been 5-6-0 easily.
Oh, that's
at one
true.
Point last night.
Yes,
for sure, could have been. They had so many chances. The kid for Vancouver was awesome, and he kept him in the game even though they were down 3-0. He made so many great saves early on in that game just to keep them alive in that spot. So we talked about that yesterday, how the look-ahead prices, it was up at DraftKings. We said, oh my God, they're $1.15. That can't be right. Well, then once they won, I got off the show. I found $1.20 here. I added that after the show yesterday, and the bump barely is even there. So Dallas, $1.20, $1.25 in the series like we talked about. So
way too much respect for Edmonton.
I bet him. I had to lay $1.20 yesterday when he got off the air as well.